You're listening to the uMentor Talk Show. I'm your host, Fatima Al Sayed, on camera, not just a voice anymore. On this weekly talk show, we usually invite experts to take us through their journeys as professionals in their fields. But this week, we've invited people who are playing a crucial role in getting Umoja to you like never before. I am joined by Mustafa Dinani, Farnaz Ladha, Buturab Rizvi, Faizaan Datoo, and Hasnainali Walli. First, I'd like to extend a warm salam alaikum to all of our panel of speakers and all of our listeners. Salam alaikum, everyone.
Alaikum salam.
I hope everyone is doing well today.
Yeah, not bad.
So, Mustafa, I'm going to start with you, actually, because we had some big, tough decisions to make this year in terms of canceling the Umoja Games for the year of 2020. What went into the process of making that decision, and how did you decide to do so?
I think it was a very tough decision because this is our annual, I always call it annual conference, where we get to see our friends and family. Mm-hmm. And but if you take a step back, given the pandemic, given the risks around it, we had to make a decision. And Umoja Games is attended by all the way from toddlers to elderly. Mm-hmm. And it was not for us, if anyone, even a single person, was going to get infected at Umoja Games, mm-hmm. I think we would hold ourselves accountable. So we took the safest approach to reschedule it to next year. But having said that, there's so much else that we could do this year. So,
can you give us a quick rundown of what is in store for the next year?
Yeah, so I think for Umoja Outreach, I've got several of my colleagues on the call as well. They'll walk through like the different parts of it. Our objective has always been to bring the community together, and to bring the community virtually together. So, we use Umoja Games as kind of the real attraction, but with now uMentor coming around, the academy, the Umoja Care, Umoja Brains, so everything kind of really comes together. And there are different things that I think we'll go through during the call, but I would say probably that's what's in store.
Okay, so moving on to just in terms of the website, we are going to introduce Buturab Rizvi and Faizaan Datoo. Buturab and Faizaan have worked tirelessly to launch the new website and introduce the Umoja app, where you can find anything and everything Umoja has to offer. First, Faizaan, can you give us a quick history of the website and why it's so important and crucial that we've made these changes?
Yeah, so like we've had a website for a while, and that was really the primary way to interact with our programs, because at the end of the day, we're a virtual organization, and a lot of the ways that you interact with us to sign up for our events like Umoja Games, involved in your local academy, listen to our podcast, you can do that through the website. And, for a while, the website was actually pretty slow. I think a lot of feedback that we got was that people were sometimes not even able to finish, what they were doing on the website. It would quit on them, or it would just not load. And it definitely wasn't working on their phone. It wasn't mobile friendly, which are pretty important things, especially nowadays with modern websites, is that you need to make sure that it works for everyone and it works on your phone, because that's one of the primary ways that we're interacting with the web these days. So I think last year, the first step we took to resolving this is for the Umoja Games, we actually came out with the Umoja Games app. And I don't know if you remember, I think all you had to do was just go to umoja.games in your web browser on your phone, and you had access to all the scores and the schedule, and even local restaurants, because people were coming to Michigan. They weren't familiar with the area and they wanted to explore, so we put restaurants in the app as well. And we got really good feedback on that. Almost everyone with a phone who came to the games was able to log on to the app, and they were able to use it and to get scores and things like that. And that was a good first step, and that was last year. But moving forward, we still had the problem with the website being slow, and we got a lot of feedback still that the registration was kind of slow on the site. So, we spent the rest of 2019 trying to fix that, making changes. I was working on speeding it up, making things more accessible. especially when it came to games registration and academy registration. But I think, we sat down in January and we figured, let's take the website, put it aside, let's make a new one, and let's build on the momentum of the Umoja Games app and build a general app for all of Umoja. Because for the same reasons I said that we went with the Umoja Games app, we're interacting with the world on our phones, and Umoja is a big part of bringing our communities together. Let's put that on the go. And so over the past few months, we've been working really hard to achieve this, to bring us to 2020 with our website and our app. And we're really excited to share with you what we've done.
Thank you so much. And moving on to Buturab, can you tell us more about what I think the site and the website will feature?
Yeah, so to Faizan's point, we've redesigned the site. We've released it 2 weeks ago. The focus here was on the usability and the speed. So I'm positive that our users will be pleasantly surprised when they see the design of the new website. But the mobile app, that's new, right? We built upon our experiences from the games app that we've released last year. And we have an app now that supports both iOS and Android platforms. It's up in the App Store. It was released yesterday. And the intention here, as we go through this conversation, is to show sort of the different features that we have in the app. So what I'll do now is I'll maybe pass it over to Faizaan to start off with some of the features that we have in the new app.
Yeah, so there's supposed to be slides. I don't know if they're showing, just to show you like a small taste of what you can experience. And I encourage you to right now go ahead and open up umojaoutreach.org or app.umojaoutreach.org so you can get your hands on the app, because it is available. But we're just going to go through a few things. The first thing is the new profile experience. So, previously when you've interacted with our programs and you signed up for stuff, and you had to start over each time. We didn't remember what you did before, right? Like, you would sign up your family for the games, but then next time you had to input the same people to sign up for the games and for the academy and things like that. And we're trying to build bonds with communities, but it's also important to build bonds between Umoja and you. So now, either on the website or the app, you can sign up for an account, tell us all about yourself, your family, your profession, things like that, and we'll incorporate that into the way you experience Umoja and your community. And you can use the same account on the website and the app. It's all one thing, one account for all of Umoja. You can just go ahead and tell us all about yourself, and we'll remember. Another thing, so as I mentioned, we built an app for Umoja Games, and it went really well. Let's take that and we'll push it to an academy. So now you can see on your screen here, you can access upcoming events and announcements for your city so that your city leads can relay important information to you about upcoming events or things to be reminded about. And you'll get actually notifications right to your phone, so you don't have to remember to check the WhatsApp group or to open the app. It'll tell you right on your home screen. But another important thing is that we want to, can you go back for a second, please? I want to talk about the media component. So like a lot of the importance of the academy, what makes it really special is the achievements of our children and our youth. Let's share that with our community. So each city now has its own photo album in the app. You can upload your own photos, and you can see what other parents or people in your community have shared about your academy. And we think that's really going to make a huge difference in how we experience the academy, because now you can do a lot of connecting from your phone.
That's so cool, because you can actually see the academies, what's going on in them, and they won't just be the thing that you go to in your own city. It's something that's everywhere. It's a community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to cover in terms of maybe the podcast video?
Yeah.
Aspect?
so when it comes to the podcast, can you go to the next slide, please? I just want to give you a little taste of what there is to see. So we're on a podcast right now, and we have a huge library of podcasts that uMentor's put together over the last couple of years. And now you can access all of them on this beautiful list. So you can see who it was, what they do, tap on that list, and you'll get a whole biography, and you'll be able to listen to the podcast right from your phone. And in addition to that, you also get an enormous listing of careers, because another component of uMentor is career building, right? The youth of our community want help. And I know this from personal experience. I'm a youth. I need help with my career building. And now I can go right to the Umoja app and see just what kind of careers are available. I can see things like a description. I can see, what I can expect to earn or what I need to get started. And we're going to expand on this. Brother Buturab will talk about this a little later with the careers. But for now, it's great to see just the whole library, what you can do.
Yeah. And how will this apply to in the future? Will people be using the website alone or the app alone, or will it be something that's simultaneous?
Yeah, so what we're aiming to do, and I think Brother Buturab will talk about this a little more later on, is bring the website and the app to parity, in that you can do the same things on both. And you use the same account, and you can experience Umoja the same way from your computer or your phone.
Oh, okay. So you have the same account through everything. That's cool.
Yes.
It's awesome.
One of the the principles when you were designing this account experience is one account for all of Umoja. Back when you register for an account, it says write that same sentence in big letters, one account for all of Umoja. Yeah. One other thing I wanted to talk about was the mosque feature. Oh, yeah, that's the website. You can see that you can also access the podcast on the website.
Yeah.
But yeah, so also the videos. So I wanted to create these videos, and I believe they're coming out. We're coming out with a series soon that I'll probably talk about later on the show.
Yeah.
And now you can access them exclusively in the app. So in the app, you can go right to this beautiful video screen and see what's featured and all of the videos we have to offer that you can watch. And you can comment, so you can interact with the community and share your thoughts on these videos, as you can see here.
And then you said something about mosques?
Yes. Yes. So when you're on the go, alhamdulillah, our community is huge. And a lot of places you go in North America, you're going to find a local branch of our community, a Shia community, a Shia center. So now you can, right through the Umoja app, you can open up the mosque view, and you can see exactly which mosques are nearby you. And you can tap on them and see directions to the mosque, their website, their Facebook page, and you can go ahead and meet your brothers and sisters in that community.
Okay, interesting. So that all sounds amazing. I think people have to try it out in order to see, get their hands on it and see what features, all of these features. But Buturab, can you tell us about this professional directory that piqued our interest? We can't hear you. I don't know if the sound is going through.
Okay, now I can.
There you go. We can see you now. There we go.
Okay. Perfect. So I got most of what Faizaan said. It was a bit choppy, but again, thanks, Faizaan. You've walked through the different features of the app. There's actually two more features that I wanted to talk about, and those are the professional directory, which is uLink, and Pages, which is a business directory. So I'll start with the professional directory, which is uLink. We have podcast talk shows on a weekly basis, and through that we work with such amazing talent, and our listeners would like to connect with that talent. And that's sort of the core principle, the core design behind uLink, is that we're finding ways for people to connect. So as a professional, I can go in, post my profile, and as a user or a youth, I can find professionals across different fields who are open to providing mentorship. With Pages, which is our business directory, this one really excites me. We moved to our home about a year and a half ago, and after we moved in, we had some work to do in the house, outside of the house. And we asked our friends and family if they knew people who could help us. The pages features exactly that. It provides access to a virtual network of businesses near. We support over 20 categories. If you're looking for someone in trades or a website designer, an accountant, someone in catering, all of that you could find through the link feature. And as a business, you can add your listing to pages and get your word out to our user base, very quickly.
That's amazing. And this will provide people with that access to different professionals within our community, which is something that I don't think has ever been done before.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you guys think is important to highlight for the app and the website?
Yeah, so there's one more. Faizaan alluded to this earlier as well. We have presence on the social media. We have a Facebook account. We have an Instagram account. We communicate people through those social media channels. We communicate to our users via email. We have WhatsApp groups with hundreds of people, and in the app there's a notification hub. And this is attempting to solve the different ways that we communicate with our users into one. And so as a user, you can subscribe to features that cater to you, whether it's Academy specific to a city, or if it's the Games weekly podcast, you can get information delivered right to your phone as soon as it's available. And then on top of everything else, like we focus on simplicity, we focus on usability. There's a lot of features we talked about just now. But really, the core principle behind our design is to bring it out in a very usable manner, in a very simplistic way. And while we do this, our focus has been on things like security and privacy. Those are front and center of everything that we do through our digital assets.
Yeah. So maybe if I can add one thing,
sure,
right? So
go for it.
Being a virtual organization, this is where it all comes down to, right? Everyone is digital. To get our programs across, which are really meeting the needs of the community. None of the programs that you actually heard about are not designed that way. And that's kind of what this is. The app and the website are the vehicles that we're using to bring it to you right at your fingertips.
So Mustafa, can you tell us more about these issues that we're tackling? What are the issues? What is the problem question?
The problem question, I think, so for instance, if you think about it as a professional, or as a kid, or as a college kid, or even a high school kid, what do you really do? Normally, most of the backgrounds were like, why don't you become a doctor? Why don't you become an engineer? And the uMentor was designed to actually guide them to new professions. We've had professions that people have never heard of, and that actually has piqued a lot of interest of people. So that was where the uMentor came in. And normally, it's very hard for people to connect to different people. So the uMentor program was really designed to bring that whole the whole piece together. If you go to the other programs, with the Buturab, what he mentioned about even the business directory, I wish I knew someone from our community who was actually an accountant. It would be great that I could just basically pick up the phone and say, hey, I really need help. And sometimes it's really, really hard, but I could be sitting right next to them at the mosque, but I don't even know who they are and what they do, or what their company
Or you
does.
might be too afraid to even approach them, I think.
Exactly. So now that they're broadcasting themselves, it's very easy. And the sky's the limit. I mean, this is meant to be, connecting so many communities and so many people. And if you think about it, the power is immense. So I think it's so simple and, accessible. That's what we've designed every program to make it so accessible.
Yeah. Buturab, do you want to tell us more a little bit about next steps?
Yeah, I mean, many families think of Umoja as a sports organization, and that's absolutely true. But I think one thing that the conversation and the screens that you've seen on both the app is much more a community-focused organization, and as an organization, we've accomplished still so much more to go. We have a packed feature of backlog. We have we're looking at releasing new features throughout this year into next year, and encourage everyone to download the app, share it with your friends and your family, and share that feedback, any feedback you have, back with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all three of you, actually, for telling us more about the website, more about the app, and Mustafa for just laying it all out in terms of, what the problems are and how this helps. Moving on to Farnaz. Farnaz, how are you? Assalamu alaikum.
How are you?
Let's give it a moment to... Assalamu alaikum, Farnaz.
Alaikum salam. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Not bad, given it's a Saturday, enjoying my day.
I mean, you have all of our company, so that should be the highlight of your day today.
It does. It does.
So you, along with the rest of the uCare team, worked during Ramadan to bring forward the Adopt a Grandparent program. Can you tell us what Adopt a Grandparent is and how this came to be?
So it really came to be, I want to start there actually, is because Umoja is an organization that reaches every person at every different level, be it a toddler to a regular adult to a teen to even the elderly or grandparents. And because of that, Umoja realized that there was a need or an avenue to at least create like a friendship or a conversation between generations, which is, I think we all feel is very important, especially during this time when COVID is happening and we're all at home, we're all quarantined. We can't go out and see our friends. We can't see family. We're missing that communication, that lack of a touch, basically. And even though it's a form of communication through text or a phone call or a video, this program allows that to happen. So in Ramadan, we actually launched, right before Ramadan actually started, I was able to pair up, I believe it was 11 youth and 12 grandparents. And with that, we were able to have the youth actually start having these conversations with our grandparents. And the feedback that I've been getting from them, from both sides, is really just something that it melts your heart and it makes you realize the key importance for this is all. So it's something that I think has really gone far as it is already and will continue to go far. And as in the slide, you could see that these are just a couple of snapshots of the youth and the grandparents that we have in the program. And I know that I'm already getting requests from a lot of new grandparents saying, can we join? When are we starting up again? Or what's the next program? When does it start? So I know that it's doing its job where it's getting people connected. It's touching everybody's heart. It's a lot of experiences being shared.
Yeah.
So it's something that I see doing a very great job at that.
How are you making sure that the youth keep up with the grandparents and don't slack off during, throughout it, especially during Ramadan when people were so tired all the time?
Honestly, it's really interesting to see how engaging the youth are actually being. Like, they're picking up the phone with their parents right by them. They're reaching out and talking to their grandparents without having to be told, like, oh, you should be talking to them. Why haven't you talked to them? But no, like, they're reaching out. They're talking multiple times a week, every day, once a week, twice a week. Like, it's happening. And all I have to do is really just once in a while, I'll reach out being like, hey, how's it going, Salams? How's the program going? How are things like progressing? How often are you talking? Any cute like stories, any great feedback I can get? And it's really just like, it's working its own way. Like, I am grateful and thankful that I get to just end up taking a step back and I get to actually just listen to the stories that I'm getting from everybody.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet to hear all of that.
And we have these two testimonials up. I'm so grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this program and the opportunity to forge a new relationship with my grandchild. obviously not real grandchild, but the adoptive grandchild. It's been a blessing to share stories from my own childhood and pass along wisdom to the next generation. This was from adoptive grandfather. And we have one from an adoptive granddaughter who said, every Wednesday afternoon, I look forward to connecting with my adopted grandmother and hearing about her experience growing up. She is so sweet and kind, and I'm so lucky to have met her through this program. It's so heartwarming to see that these youth are actually impacted in this way and that the elderly are actually enjoying it.
Yeah, I honestly, I was very hesitant. I don't know if that's actually the right word to use, but it's kind of like you don't know where this is going to go once it goes live.
Yeah.
So to see this actually just manifest and to grow in something so special where we're able to actually just hone in onto those key moments of someone's life and just understand it. Honestly, I said it from the start to myself, to my team, that growing up, I wish I had this kind of opportunity to have an adopted grandmother, adopted grandfather, and got to hear so many stories, so many lessons to be learned.
Yeah.
And so to hear them from these kids and even from the grandparents hearing stories that they're getting from the kids, like what they did at school or what they've learned or what's something they took from what they learned from them and use it in their own life, it's something that's really special to hear.
Thank you so much, Farnaz. Is there anything else you want to highlight about uCare before we move on?
We're always taking in new applicants. So if anything, reach out. We're always taking anybody. Just come on in and we'll welcome you with open arms.
Thank you so much, Farnaz. Okay, so now we are moving on to Hasnainali Walli and Mustafa Dinani. If we can get you guys up on the screen. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you both?
Doing well.
So we have some exciting stuff coming up, but one of them is the docu-series. Can you tell us about it? Do you want to play the intro first, or do you want to give us a brief introduction?
Why don't we play the trailer first, and
Sure.
then we'll go behind the scenes. We had a small tournament in New York in 2012, which was really, really small, actually. It was just 8-a-side men's tournament, 8 teams only. And it was actually created by just us calling different friends and that we knew and invite them.
New York, he's through to the finals. So
The connections I've made through the years, the bonds that have been formed, and the moments during the games, those are all impact and memories that I will always remember.
I think Umoja does an amazing job at bringing different people together from all different walks of life. And I think it's an amazing way to meet Muslims all over the world and stay connected.
Umoja has become the most powerful organization because of you.
we just said, let's just not let this thing die. That was it.
Well, I can speak, I think, for everyone. That was incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Can you tell us what we can wait for?
I think first I want to take a step back and go to
Sure.
first how we put this thing together, or where this came about.
Sure.
As Mustafa said at the beginning of the show, we obviously postponed this year's Umoja Games due to COVID-19. So that left a hole within us, because it made us realize we won't see our Umoja family this year. We won't be able to travel to Richmond and be with everybody in our community that has been built. And with that, we want to give something that would make it would kind of fill that void to a certain extent. So we decided we're gonna dig through our archives and go from when we were incepted in 2012 till now, as well as in the future, all what has happened, how all this thing put together, the experiences, the different stories, both behind the scenes and in front of the cameras. That we just want to put that on and bring that forward. So I think viewers, when they watch this, they can expect an in-depth behind the scenes look at how each Umoja games were put together, the stories, as well as stories of other people, different travel stories, the lengths as which people have gone to get to Umoja games, the different relationships and bonds that were formed at the games, and the memories that were created to live on beyond the games.
And that's where the name Beyond the Game comes from, which is
exactly.
So cool. Mustafa, you seem like you want to add something?
No, I mean, I think for me, I mean, it's as I said earlier, it's very, very hard not to see the Umoja family this year. But this has been an amazing Beyond the Game. It's a 9-part series. It's been amazing to put it together. You know, the things that we forgot about, the late nights, some of the comical stuff that happened, in the last couple of years.
It must be so nostalgic for you.
It is very nostalgic, and it makes you want to pause and go back and think of how this whole thing came about. And Umoja has just looked at every time, just let's march forward. And this has been a good moment for us to capture something back. But our motivation of putting it together is for the Umoja family again.
Yeah.
To actually give them something to actually cherish the moments they had.
It's like reliving the games again.
Yes.
Despite not having the actual games.
It's never the same, but
yeah.
it's an attempt to actually give them something. And it'll be released every couple of days apart. Will be released over the next coming weeks, up to the month of Muharram, and hopefully everyone really participates and engages with it, because it's really meant for you.
Yeah. So before I think we've come to the end of our show, unfortunately, but is there any final thoughts or remarks that you want to add?
What I want to say is that, Umoja is there for you and for the community, and we are really here to kind of basically make a difference, to create an impact, to have an impact, to address your needs. We want Umoja to be in every family, whether it's via football or soccer, via mentorship, via volunteering, via scholarships, anything it may be. But our motivation here is that we want to make a difference in your life, in every family's life that is here in North America and beyond. And that's what I would really close it by. It's been a great journey. All of my colleagues who've joined the call, we really have, we have great moments building it. We have lots of time that are difficult. Walli is probably nodding his head that it's not always fun and dandy. But it's been an amazing 8-9 year journey, and hopefully everything really comes together over the next 2-3 years, because we're building. Umoja's not stopped building, and we'll continue to build.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Fatima, for hosting all of us and doing a great job. It is our first time on video, so
we went through a couple technical issues, but alhamdulillah, thank you to all of your support.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
You were just listening to the uMentor Talk Show. If you missed this or future shows, you can always hear the replay on the uMentor website under prior talk shows. And while you're there, go subscribe to our iTunes podcast, SoundCloud podcast, and download the app. We also have a couple ways that you can interact with our initiatives, which is get the app, visit www.app.umoja.org or your favorite device, and check out our new website, which is umojooutreach.org. Sign up to join our professional directory, umojooutreach.org/my-account, And then sign up for Adopt a Grandparent as a youth or elderly. You can visit umojooutreach.org/care. And also look out for our documentary series starting July 4th, exclusively on the Umoja app. So get the app. Thank you so much.